We are live at Wintrust Arena at the conclusion of Banner Night. Because in those rings, as we saw, Chris, them rings were shining bright like a diamond, man. It was pretty fly.
Very fly.
It was pretty fly, man. We was able to witness the Chicago Sky raising the first banner in Wintrust Arena after to celebrate their first championship, and overall great ceremony. But it was nothing like having a ceremony unless you get the W to go with it afterwards. And it was a grind out game, but they did get that W, Chris.
It's true. I think this was very, very good for the team overall. The presentation of it, especially after how kind of disjointed opening night ceremony was with the commemorative basketballs and players didn't necessarily know what to do. This was what we expected. We expected championship banner raising. We expected rings. We expected the jubilant coach, as James Wade did, to say, we're going to get another one. But for the Sky, for the franchise, to have a permanent home within the city and to be able to get this championship after 15 years in the league, and a lot of them very mediocre at best. It was really important for the team and for them to come back at various times in this game tonight and get the W against the hungry Indiana team, even better.
And I think what's the icing on the cake was we got Kahleah Copper back.
True.
We got Kahleah back. She came back with a bang too. You could tell from the beginning of the game the impact that she brings from an intensity perspective. She set the tone defensively. And yes, the Sky had some ups and downs. She was a little rusty offensively in some cases. Had some careless turnovers and mistakes and things of that sort.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, Kahleah's impact was enough to spark the Sky in key moments to get the victory tonight, and that's something that the Sky has missed over the first few games.
You can see that she's kind of getting her legs. It's weird to say getting her legs back because she's been playing basketball pretty consistently for the last 5 or 6 months anyway.
Right.
But you figure that some of the overseas play, travel back, reintegrating into her domestic stateside team, and new players, Emma Meeseman, Rebecca Gardner, and trying to find her way without her old running buddy Diamond DeShields. I think that has had some effect for sure. But Ka had moments, especially in the second half, where she was able to get out in clear space, get ahead of the field for outlet passes. She had one particular play where she got a steal when the Sky were tightening things up in the fourth quarter, got a steal near the baseline, and before she touched half court, the entire crowd, there was a ooh, they could feel it. They could feel that something was going to happen, because that's what happens when Kahleah Copper gets an open space. Something incredible happens. The Sky they got free throws out of it. They didn't even get a field goal. But that's the tangible impact that she brings back to the Chicago team and the pressure that puts on opposition and opposing defenses.
And just even the highlight, even on top of that, there's so many other headlines that came out of the Sky tonight. Allie Quigley won her title at home.
True.
She, DePaul. Shout out to my DePaul Blue Demons. You always got to give a shout out to the real ones. But she talked about in the press conference how she didn't actually play in Wintrust Arena like it would have been nice.
True.
But just to be able to know that she played the championship game, won the championship game, and saw the banner raised at her alma mater really shows. It really touched her in a lot of ways, and gave her an experience that not a lot of people, from especially the athlete's perspective, really get to do. It's a very rarity to actually win in your hometown, and she was one of the few players really to do that, and that's something that cannot be overlooked as we go through the celebration of the ring ceremony.
Allie said that for sure, and I think Courtney put it best tonight. When the rings came out, it felt like it did back in October when they won the championship, when they had the parade. And it's, Allie's local, Candace is from Naperville, but it's such a Chicago thing for a city that is a major city but somewhat starved of championships. They really took that to heart, and especially for a team in a league that is often overlooked, the fans of this team really, really took that to heart. And so I think that was the biggest takeaway from the ring ceremony itself, from the beginning of the game, from all throughout the game, those moments where they had a chance to be excited when the Sky had back-to-back and one chances in the fourth quarter. Everything really got going in the crowd. They're hanging on every single thing. And it's an attentive crowd. It's an excited crowd. It's a crowd that wants to win and wants to win another championship.
Yeah, and I think what made it even better was even though we talked about the Kalia Coppers, we talked about the Alec Quigleys, the Slutes, and the notable names of this team, but the fourth quarter really belonged to Candace Parker.
True.
And she took the way she commanded the offense, playmaking ability along the way, and to be able to put her staple on it in the final moments defensively. You can tell that this was the superstar moment to rise and shine. And between Copper and Parker, they really took that to the next level tonight to help get them that grind-out win that Sloot told us that was really ideally what the team needed.
Emily Engstler for Indiana had her first double-double of her career, 11 points, 13 rebounds, and she had 12 rebounds after 3 quarters, which means she only got 1 in the fourth quarter, and 7 of those 13 were offensive rebounds. Indiana had a ton of second-chance opportunities in that first and even in the third quarter that allowed them to get leads. What the Sky did really, and what Candace did, was make sure to put a body on Engstler every time the shot went up, to make sure that she wasn't tipping the ball, she wasn't getting those second chance opportunities that Indiana was living off of in the first half. Defensively, like, it was a Candace Parker quarter for sure. She turned it up on both ends. But defensively is where the Sky came through. Mm-hmm. They did not allow Victoria Vivians to get open. They were getting through screens more. They weren't allowing those down screens and back screens that Indiana was getting so many good open looks on. They were chasing balls down. They were outrunning passes in the passing lanes. Overall, it was a complete team effort to get that win. And I know people might say it's Indiana, they're not a great team, but as James Wade said, Marianne Stanley and the coaching staff has really prepared them. They've had a blowout loss to Connecticut, but otherwise they've been in a lot of games this season. Even though they're 2-7, they're not going to be a playoff team necessarily, but they're going to be a team that fights for every inch. And so the Sky had to overcome that. And in a place where they're still trying to get everything together chemistry-wise. Mm-hmm. Indiana's just a young team that's just going to try and scrap and claw and do whatever they can. And it's not like they're not a talented bunch. We saw Victoria Vivians has had injuries, but she can shoot the lights out. Right. Queen Egbo looked very, very good. And Emily Engstler, we already talked about her. So Candace Parker, definitely. She's gonna come up big because we all know what she can do as a veteran and as an MVP in this league. But the Sky as a team held things down to defensively, and that's what gave them the win.
Now they need to transfer that same energy to Saturday, because Saturday
Las Vegas is coming in.
We got the Vegas Aces. Then this is the different Aces team compared to the previous years under Bill Laimbeer. You got Becky Hammond in there. Really got this team playing at a high rate right now behind Asia Wilson, and they are taking. In a lot of ways you can tell they've taken that extra step up to where now they're for real one of the top teams at WNBA that you really got to look out for, and that's going to be a challenge for the Chicago Sky on Saturday.
3-point shooting, man. 3-point shooting is Vegas' calling card now, and you never would have said that with a Bill Laimbeer-led team. They are near the top of the league in shooting threes, attempting threes, and making threes. Jackie Young is breaking out, looking more like her Rookie of the Year self, and she's an outside shooter now. Asia Wilson is going to do what Asia Wilson does, but if you have Kelsey Plum alongside Jackie Young, it's a really, really difficult team. And De'Erica Hamby is finally starting. It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. You would think of the stars that Vegas lost with Kayla McBride and Liz Cambage, and for them to be better now. This is finally the Vegas Aces team that everybody thought was going to win a championship. This is the team that I think can win a championship. So the Sky can't have any early lapses on defense. They can't lose players like they did tonight, like they have had some moments early in the season. They have to be completely on against Vegas on Saturday, because another primetime game.
Another primetime game on Saturday. I believe they play at 2 o'clock.
Yes, sir.
Here at Wintrust Arena. We'll be at the game to make sure we give you guys all the coverage that you guys need. In the meantime, as my man Kyle Neens would say, keep bouncing.